Hello, my dears. Daniela here. And the longer that I am in the industry, the more value that I place on companies out there that put real emphasis on building true and lasting relationships with their clients. Whether that's a locally owned small business, just like the spa that you have or are dreaming of building, or if it's one of the many companies that serve our industry and help us provide better quality services to our clients. Today, I want to introduce you to one of those companies, Emage Medical. So I'm talking with their CEO, Cari, and she's going to be walking me through their offerings, sharing some incredible discounts that they are offering our Addo community. And we're doing this because the last time that I surveyed in our Facebook group, I said, what do you guys want us to create? What do you guys want us to work on for you? How can we continue to provide you value? And one of the consistent answers that we got back was, get us discounts on products, equipment, and services. So we are doing just that. But something that's really important for me, if I'm going to be recommending a company, I absolutely need to use their product. I need to understand the core values of their company. I need to build a real relationship with their CEO or leadership team, because that ultimately comes back to me, right? We only want to make referrals based on companies or products or services that we've had our own real experience with. So I take that very, very seriously. And I can proudly share that Emage Medical has passed the Daniela test with flying colors. And to the point that I've even had people on my team buy their imaging device. They sent me a message and they said, oh my gosh, this is so much better in person than when I did the demo. I'm so excited. My team's so excited. Like it's just a really, really good company to work with. They're Hannah, who I'm sure if you reach out, Hannah is just a delight. She's so lovely. And they care about their people. So that for me is something that is of the utmost importance. Whether you're looking at a product line and you're meeting with the reps, whether you're bringing in a device like an imaging device like the Sunlight, you've got to have a relationship with that company that can provide you support. And there are companies out there, I'm not going to name any names, but there are companies out there that you can be a decent size account and they won't show up for your events, or they won't answer your calls, or they won't even donate gift baskets for your events. So it's really like, if you succeed, they succeed. And sometimes that gets lost in the mix with these companies once they get to a certain size. And I believe that Emage is the opposite of that. They want to be able to help you succeed. So that is tremendously important for me and any company that I am going to be recommending. So just wanted to share that for those of you that are interested in learning more about imaging devices and the variety of other offerings that they have, but we're focusing mostly on their imaging devices in this episode. So let me do a quick read of Cari's bio, and then we'll just jump right into that interview. So as the CEO of Emage Medical, Cari Ray has been a part of the team behind developing the CytoPeel, CytoSolutions, and CytoSerum for the past 5 years. Cari started out as the national sales manager on the team and quickly became the driving force behind the next phase of growth and innovation with Emage Medical. She's now part owner, and before coming to the company, Cari was the COO at an international battery distribution center and earned her bachelor's degree from Winthrop University. In her free time, she loves to read, sing, take photographs, and is a successful abstract artist, with her work being manufactured and sold internationally on textiles. I had no idea about that. So Cari, I'm calling you out, girl. But I love reading people's bios because I always learn something new. Anyway, I hope that you enjoy this episode. We've got links and everything if you guys are interested in learning more about Emage and the different offerings that they have. So I'll go ahead and play that interview. Cari, welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I kind of feel like I'm going back in time that we're doing this on Zoom now, but it's good. It's all about taking care of ourselves and finding balance. And I was pleasantly surprised when you said, I don't like flying. So it was good that we could do it this way.
Yes, I love it. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I just wanted to take a moment to really highlight and honor your company. We were introduced through Ryan at High Level Marketing, who is one of our strategic partners. And for me, I'm always looking for real companies that have really great core values. And that for me is the link between everybody that I have chosen to partner with. So, with Environ, their skincare line, there's privately owned, great culture. I love that piece. It's priceless. It is priceless. And I feel like the spas out there that partner with these companies that put such value in that, like yours, do a million times better than the big publicly or publicly owned companies. So give me a little bit of the history. Like, how did you get involved in this company? Like, tell me the story, wherever you want to start.
Okay, sure. Yes. So I was working in an HR role at a property management group. I couldn't have been further away from what I'm doing now. And the lady that I worked with said, her boyfriend at the time had a skincare company and he sold some med spa equipment and he needed some people to do a trial before and after with our stem facial line. And I was like, so free spa treatment. That's all I heard. And so
spa treatment to CEO.
Yes. So I went and I did those trials. And then whenever he had a need, he started to grow. He hired me as a sales rep and then sales manager and then now CEO. But it all started from the inception of the trial with one of our products because I was obsessed with it. And I knew, like, if you are passionate about something like the way you are with your company, you are going to be able to just accidentally sell it. It's not even like an effort. So it's just one of those things that organically just grew into what it is now.
So tell me, you guys, the sunlight is something that we talk about a lot, the imaging device, but there's a lot more to your company besides just the imaging devices. You want to give us, give our audience that may not know all of your offerings, just give like the, quick overview of what it is that you guys offer.
Oh, yeah, sure. So we have the stem facial, which is a microneedling system. So it's growth factors and things. It's something people would do in lieu of PRP, so they wouldn't have to take the time to like draw blood and do the centrifuge and all of that. Then we have the pen that goes with that, the CytoPen, and it has microneedling tips and microdermabrasion tips. So it's a dual purpose tool. So a lot of spa owners find if you can get, two things in one to save money on the outset, then obviously that's a good choice. Then we have a hydrodermabrasion machine that's comparable to like hydrofacial. That's called CytoPeel. And we have solutions for that we designed that also have growth factors. And it's the same lab in Florida that does our stem facial, does our CytoPeel solutions. And then we just launched CytoSerum, which is a hair regeneration solution. And so that's going to be for microneedling as well. And we also have the whole lineup of the Image Pros.
Very cool. And so what I'm most familiar with, and this is something that I love about your company, when Ryan first introduced us, I'm always like, I want to build the relationship. I want to get to know the company. I want to get to know the offerings to make sure that if I'm making that recommendation, that it's something that, I actually believe in and like, and, because that's a lot on me to say, hey, this thing is awesome. And then actually it's not, know?
Yeah.
And so I, reached out to you. You didn't have a rep in the area. So you guys flew, you shipped the device to my house and sent Hannah to my house. And so Hannah and I were setting up with the sunlight in my kitchen, doing our imaging. My husband came in, he was looking at all his body data. And it was just, I thought, what a great way to initiate a relationship and showing like, hey, I actually want to honor this for you and make sure that you can fully believe in anything that you're recommending, because that is so important.
Yeah, sure it is. And again, because I don't fly, I sent Hannah and it ended up just working out perfectly because she's definitely your type of people, Addo Aesthetics type of people. It ends up just being a really good relationship, a good fit. I was so excited to hear.
Yeah, she's lovely. She was at our spa CEO intensive and she showed up in brand colors. And
yes, she did.
She was like ready to help. I'm like, you just enjoy yourself. And she was, wanting to, with anything, setting up the tables, picking up the trash, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so above and beyond. So it was just,
Yes.
she's just kind and lovely and always wanting to help. And so for me, that's exactly the type of person that I want to partner with. Right.
Yes, definitely. We had a customer come to us from a call that you made, and she got one of the imaging systems that we don't carry anymore. And she had some issues with her moisture meter. And so we just upgraded her to the larger, higher end unit just overnight. We just sent it. And she said, my goodness, this is the kind of company I want to do business with. And I said, well, I promise you, I take it really seriously that Daniela is adding us to be into her strategic partner, realm. And we want to take care of you guys. And we obviously want to take care of all of our customers, but I just think it's so important when these people trust you with their investment, to try and do whatever you can to make sure that it goes exactly how they want it to or better.
Yeah. So, for me, that's a great thing. To know that my people are taken care of. So let's talk about these imaging devices in general and who they're good for. Because I know, like in the, I don't know, I was going to say in the olden days, but when I was still practicing aesthetics, these were mostly used in derm offices and plastics offices because you're looking at, light and lasers or injections. And they're still obviously very, very common in medical aesthetics or in a medical environment. But we're seeing more and more this kind of med spa light, and even people that are wanting just to measure moisture in the skin, or maybe they're a Face Reality client. They're doing a lot with acne. And so having these skin imagers with the moisture meters, with all of the tools available to really show progress in the skin, not just before and after pictures, but comparing apples to apples to prove, it's like tangible proof for your clients and patients that, hey, what we're doing here is making real change in your skin. So are you seeing that as well? That it's like medical in a medical environment, but also a non-medical environment?
Right. Sure. We really promote it more than that for just being able to add additional services. So especially whenever COVID initially, the restrictions kind of eased up, when people would go in, they would have to do like a cleaning before, a cleaning in like during, I don't know exactly what all it entailed, but they said it took up so much more time. They could only do a few customers a day, where maybe they had, 10 clients before and now it was down to 5. And so we're like, if you have someone in there and you have a skin imaging system, then just say they came in for a neuromodulator, but then you show them their face with this 3D technology and it shows sebum and porphyrins. And you say, listen, I have a CytoPeel or a hydrodermabrasion device here. Why don't we go ahead and take care of that while you're here? So the more that you could kind of tack on to each person, it would be a lot more efficient, effective for your bottom line. So even more than just people asking for really good apples to apples, perfect, before and afters, for just proof, like you said, we find that a lot of the customers that call want a way to say, I want to sell you a treatment, but I don't really like to sell anything. Do you know what I mean?
So Christy, who's my executive assistant and just basically runs my life.
Yeah, she's amazing, by the way.
She's amazing. Yes. She was at the Spa CEO intensive. And when Hannah was up there talking, she stood up and she said, I just want to add that from a patient perspective, I had the imaging device done and I would have bought anything that you told me to. Because when you see the UV and all this, and it's like, oh my gosh, like all that's going on. And for us, I think a lot of times and by us, I mean, those of us in the industry, that we're used to looking at lines and wrinkles and pigmentation and all the things, it's not as shocking to us to see those images. We see it all day, every day.
Right.
But for a patient who it's the first time they're taking care of their skin, it's the first time that they're really like, okay, this is 42. This is, getting a few more gray hairs. There's like some stuff, not that doesn't measure gray hairs. That's my own thing. But it's like, wow, you either, and it gives you like a goal when you have the real age,
Right.
to see like, okay, well, this is how old this device says that I am,
Right.
based on my skin age, which I think is also just a really cool thing to share with your
Yeah.
patients and say, hey, you actually, went from 40 to 35 this year,
Yeah. Yeah,
because of
because age
the
is just
investment.
a number, but it means a lot to us aesthetically. It's so funny, because in my mind, I still feel probably 35. I would say 25, but I didn't know enough then, but probably 35. So I needed to kind of correlate with that number. What I feel like mentally, I would love it if my face would reflect that.
I know. Well, thankfully we're in the right industry.
Yes.
Okay. So, charging or not charging, what do you guys recommend for these imaging? I feel like that's like a hot topic, and,
Yeah.
you know,
So we get a lot of that for questions when people are calling in. And for me, I've seen some of the things that you put out about people doing open houses to bring in and try and book. And I think that this is the ideal tool to say, this is a free skin analysis open house. Show some of the 3D pictures of like the porphyrin bacteria and the UV damage, and put that all over your social media and say, we're going to do this for you free. And then when they're there, like if you're going to book while you're here, go ahead and schedule your appointment. You're going to get a discount and you're getting this free skin analysis. Now, if someone is coming in and they need another revenue stream, then they could charge. But what I always suggest is, if they say, I would like to go ahead and get a CytoPeel or whatever hydrodermabrasion device they have, then go ahead and take that cost of that skin analysis off of that procedure, so it's
and I think, yeah, agreed. I think that if you are going to charge, don't call it a consultation.
right.
Come up with a, dermal imaging session or some kind of name that goes with it. But one of our students, she is having an event, and her goal, she has the device, and her goal is to increase her memberships. And so the offer is be a member for a day. And so she normally charges for the device, for the imaging, but you can buy this one facial at the member price. And when you come in for your facial, you get also the imaging for free.
Very nice.
And so in doing it in that way, you're going to say, hey, if you always want, you want the imaging, you want the member pricing, you want the discount on the products, you want all of this kind of stuff, then what an easy way to sell them into the membership, which is, the recurring revenue, bringing the stability, the strong financial foundation. Yeah. We're big believers in building a business that you can sell, even if you never plan on selling it. We want to set you up in that way, which is why we love memberships. And so anything that you can do to make your business have a competitive advantage against others out there, and how can you just really surprise and delight your clients and patients over and over?
Absolutely.
This is a great thing to add in.
I agree. And sometimes I don't know what it is, but I feel like people devalue things if you don't place a dollar amount on it. So when people want to put a dollar amount on it, I don't discourage them, because I know for whatever reason, sometimes people don't think it's worth anything if it's no charge.
Right. And the other thing, when I was practicing, we had an imaging device. And one of the things that I would do is take the images. I would sell my patient an entire home care regimen. And I would say, come back in 6 weeks. We'll take your pictures again. If we don't see meaningful change, we'll refund all the products.
Wow.
And I never once had to refund the products, but it was almost that like security.
Yes.
That they were like, okay, well, because when you're using skincare specifically, the change is very gradual.
It is.
People forget what they look like.
Yes.
And so that's, another reason that I love having an imaging device is because you're able, when someone says, well, that wasn't there, or that, they don't really see the improvement because they're looking at themselves every single day. It's like, you don't see the grass growing,
That's
but it's
right.
growing.
That's right.
That's how it is with skincare. So really like getting your patients in for those additional touch points and measuring the changes, the lines, the wrinkles, the brown spots, the hydration, all of that is just super important.
And if you think like I had a Neogen treatment at a training I was at once, and it took my number back 8 years. If you think, oh, wow, that seems like a lot. I think they charge probably $1,200 for a treatment. If you think about 8 years, that difference, like it almost hurt my feelings to see my before picture. I was like, I thought I was doing okay because I get so many things here and there. But whenever that showed up and it was 8 years younger, I said, this is how you can explain to somebody, yes, $1,200 sounds like, a substantial amount for a treatment. However, if you want this result, and so it almost lets people say, this is going to be worth this little higher end, maybe radio frequency or whatever it is that they're going to do.
That's so cool. So one of the other things about, about your company is that you guys don't charge a subscription fee. So basically, you buy the device, it's yours.
Yeah.
All the software automatically upgrades. Yeah. Some of the other devices on the market, you're paying, $1,000 a year and more. Right.
Yeah.
For the software updates and to keep, and it's kind of like Peloton, like your device doesn't work unless you have the subscription.
Yes. And I don't need a paperweight after that money.
Yeah. So I think that's, for me, was a really great piece of how you can continue to support your clients. Because sure, you can make a lot of extra money, by doing that, but it really it's not necessarily benefiting the accounts. And I bet those accounts will come back and repurchase and go deeper with you because they're getting the support.
Definitely. I think we'll even do like a rent to own thing where 90% of your payments go toward the purchase, and we'll do a trade in and give somebody 75% back toward their new purchase. Anything we can do if they want to keep upgrading, or if they can't really put all that money out at once, we have leasing, whatever we can do, because the way I see it, and I loved that your goal as your company is to help people grow their revenue. For me, I'm talking to somebody most times, that's just starting out. And I'm like, I want to be able to make sure that you have the best first year, because a lot of small businesses, that would be the year that they make or break it. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm doing something that's going to help them get their revenue traction and everything and their foothold in that market faster and do better, then it's just, I'm super passionate about it. I don't ever really meet these people. We do everything virtually, but I get really attached to them. And I'll even make a note of like when their class is over so that I can call them and just say, hey, how's your business doing since you took this class? Are you doing any extra things? Is the revenue picking up and things like that? Because I feel really passionate about what we do and being able to add to their bottom line,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's especially in our industry where it's, 97% women, right?
Yeah.
So we are helping small business owners that are women, which is obviously for you and I, being women, being CEOs, we've got to help more women succeed, because when women-owned businesses do well, they impact their communities in such a positive way, their families in such a positive way. Absolutely. It's just a win-win on so many levels.
Absolutely.
All right. So tell me I want to know specifically about the Sunlight and then the Versa 3D. So I want to know those two devices. Who is the Sunlight for? Who is the Versa for? And then we can talk about pricing for those as well.
Okay, sure. So the Sunlight's going to be the one that has the porphyrins in 3D and the UV damage that you're going to be able to see. You're going to have the wrinkles, the depth, the number of pores, the size of pores, all the measurements that you would ever need.
The skin age.
Yeah. So, it just gives you at the end, it'll say between your wrinkles and vascularity and skin elasticity and all of these things, your average skin age is this number. And it's got so many things that it's used a lot in studies. So there's a lot of universities that have it, derm offices, med spas. And even just an esthetician that's got like a med spa, type of treatment there, maybe like microneedling or something. But just, like those type of people would go for the higher end sunlight. And that is the one that we carry that's the higher end. Whereas somebody that had more like a day spa that wasn't doing anything too invasive, they would do the Versa 3D. The 3D is like a full face where it scans your face and can kind of turn it in directions and see it, but it doesn't really show a pore in 3D. It'll show you the size and the wrinkles and how many and all those things, but it's not quite as scientific. And so that would be fine if you're just doing like regular facials and you want to check moisture levels and you can still see the UV damage and things like that.
And so you can see the UV damage, you can see moisture. Does that give you a skin age or that?
It does. It gives you a skin age also.
Okay. I love that. I love the skin age.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not competitive at all.
No, I know. Even with myself, I'm like, I need to look younger than I looked last time I put my face in here.
Yes. All right. And so the sunlight regular price is $14,990, but we have a special discount code for our ADDO community. So make sure if you guys are interested, what is the code? ADDO 15?
Right. Yes.
ADDO 15, ADDO 15. That's going to bring your price down to $12,741. So it's going to save you a few $1,000s, which is really great just for, putting in that code. So make sure that you do that. And then the Versa is regularly $5,990, and you're going to get it for just over $5,000. So you're going to save about $1,000 on that by using the code ADDO 15. So if we've got all the links below here, we're always wanting to share insights of great companies. We get a lot of companies that want to connect with us. And, you guys have been listeners hanging out with me since 2018. I hope you know that I am not recommending anything or not putting anything out there that I haven't tried myself, used myself, had my students use, gotten great feedback from them, all of those things. So Cari's company passed all the tests. Everybody's been super, super happy. All of my students that have purchased the sunlight or been through, looked into having an imaging device have been really, really happy. So if that's something that is in your future, if that's something that you feel like could benefit your practice, what do? They fill out a form and they can get on a call, right? And just kind of talk through. It's like no obligation to just learn more.
And we can do a virtual demo as well. So you can just do a call, but there are like 3 different areas on the website that you can to just contact us and we'll reach out.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add?
No, just honestly, we're in the same business as ADDO Aesthetics when it comes to wanting to help your guys' practice to do better and get more revenue, and to also have repeat customers and something that's going to be where you could sell your business later. So you have people that are coming in for your stem facial line, and you can always have that. So we want it to be residual. We want to increase your revenue, and we want to have a good relationship like Daniela was talking about with you as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We've got all the links below this episode. Be sure to check those out, and we'll catch you on the next episode.